What is up, guys? Pavy's Daily Takes back at you again from an extremely hot Los Angeles, California. But yeah, no, we back at it again. I think LA is kind of in mourning today. Well, I don't know about mourning, but I know LA is kind of not feeling great today due to Dame Lillard and the Blazers' performance last night. The Lakers fell down 0-1 to the Blazers. I'm not shocked. Again, I've been saying this since February. I think TPJ even retweeted the clip back in February in which I said the Portland Trailblazers would be a bad matchup for the Los Angeles Lakers. Shout out my homie Daniel Bells. I was watching his King, watching. He was like, "Oh well, Brian, I don't care what you do to let me get his words correct. I don't care what you do in a loss. You lost to an 8th seed. I've been trying to tell everybody the Portland Trailblazers are not your normal everyday 8th seed. Your normal everyday 8th seed usually wasn't in the conference finals last year. The Portland Trailblazers are a team that if they were healthy all year, damn near might have won the West. If they wouldn't have won the West, they definitely would have been a top 3 seed in the West if they were healthy all season. This is not your normal 8th seed. This is not not the Magic. You know what I'm saying? This is not your normal 8th seed 1-8 matchup. This is really like a one. This is really a conference finals matchup that's happening really in the first round. But let's dive into the game. I think number one is the way LeBron looked. Like I said, when I watched him after the Thunder game, people say he was being passive. Is he being passive, or does he not have his legs with him? And has he declined some more from the regular season? Again, like in the regular season, well, this year in the regular season, if this game happens in, like, let's say, I don't know, January, I think LeBron probably gives Gary Trent 35. I've also seen LeBron, I've seen LeBron in person maybe like 3-4 times this year. I've seen LeBron work out Drew Holiday. I've seen LeBron, work out the Clippers. I've seen LeBron, it's the Cavs, but I saw him work out Tristan Thompson, who actually did a decent job defending him for about, I want to say, 3 quarters, and then LeBron was like, all right, enough of this. I'm going to go off and go crazy. I don't know if LeBron, at this moment in time, coming off of, what is it, 4 months basically? That's basically a whole offseason. I don't know if he has one of his legs underneath him. And I think that the play, first of all, I've never seen LeBron get his shot blocked that much. I know it's Hassan Whiteside, arguably one of the best shot blockers in the NBA, and a guy that if the if the Blazers were good, he probably would have been in contention for defensive player of the year, but they weren't good, so it is what it is. But I think he got his shot thrown 3 times. I've never seen LeBron James get his shot blocked 3 times ever. Also, that the fast break play in which he went up and Whiteside was down there and he passed it out. I think that is a clear indicator that LeBron's legs are just not the same right now. They just aren't. It's a terrible time for it because you're in the middle of the playoffs, but his legs just aren't there. I've never seen LeBron James go up mid-air, mano-a-mano with a man and be like, you know what, I can't do this, let me pass it off. That's why Kuzma wasn't ready for the pass, because he's like, the hell you doing, Bron? Go up on that man. And he didn't do that. So yeah, I definitely think the Lakers are in trouble. And granted, I think the Lakers can play much better. I do. I think the Lakers can play much better. And there were some things that I like. I think one, Frank Vogel can be better. I think Kuzma probably has to play more minutes. I think that Danny Green, the leash might have to get shorter. The leash might have to get shorter with Danny Green. He I don't know. I guess I could look at the stats, but last night he was what from 3? Danny Green was he was 2 of 8 from 3. Shot 25% from 3. That's not going to get it done, big fella. Contavious Caldwell-Pope played 30 minutes basically and amassed 1 point. He was, 0 of 5 from 3. That's not going to get it done, big fella. Anthony Davis was 0 of 5 from 3. Now, granted, he had 17 free throws, but like I said, Anthony Davis is not a guy who dominates his floor space. He just doesn't. He shoots a lot of floaters. He shoots a lot of fadeaways. He wants to play on the perimeter. Granted, yes, he will get the fouls. He will get you on rip through fouls and things like that, which helps, which also puts your bigs in foul trouble. But he's not a guy who's gonna dominate down low in the paint. So like a lot of things with AD is like, well, AD just might go off of 40, and if he goes off of 40, there's nothing you can do about it. But he also might shoot 8 of 24 from the field as well because of his play style. It's not like he's, getting the ball on the block, forcing you to double him, and just dominating down low. Most of his buckets somebody's either creating for him, like off a pick and roll or something like that, or, You know, he's on the perimeter shooting a floater or he's shooting a fadeaway, which is cool when you making them, but when you missing them, you get games like what he had last night. And again, going back to Bron, when the people was like, oh, well, I don't think Bron was attacking. I don't think he could. For one, we got to realize, like, Portland got some guys down there. Like, Wayne Gabriel, if I'm pronouncing his name wrong, I'm sorry. But Wayne Gabriel was a guy, y'all going to know his name by the end of this series. Wayne Gabriel, shout out my homie Glass Malone. We just said he looked like he should be playing for the Raptors. He is a guy who has one of the bodies that, like, the Raptors usually have on their team. The long athletic wings who can pretty much guard 1 through 5 because they have the length too and also the foot speed too. Like, Wayne Gabriel they have players that can realistically guard. And I think I saw it a couple times last night, actually. Actually, I did see it a couple times last night when you would see Melo switch off on Bron or Wayne switch off on Bron. They would switch between AD and Bron effortlessly. Like, they have a couple of players who can do that between LeBron and AD. So, again, like, the Blazers, defensively, they aren't the best, but like we said, well, like, shout out Glasses, he was on the last Hoops and Brews we did. They suffer against speed. Most of the teams that they have like terrible defensive performance against have speed. The Lakers aren't really a speedy team. They're a half-court team. The Blazers can play in a half-court. Zach Collins didn't even play last night. So that's another person that had to run the offer resistance for Bron. He already isn't trusting his jump shot the best. I also think that, I mean, look, if Bron gonna go out there and get hot from the perimeter, you lost. But for the most part, that's usually never what Bron does. A lot of Bron buckets do come in the paint. I mean, you got Nurk down there, you got Wayne Gabriel down there, you got Hassan Whiteside down there. When Zach Collins come back, you got Zach Collins down there. That's not easy to get buckets in the paint. It's just not. It's I'm sorry, it's not. So again, like, no, he wasn't being as aggressive as he normally would be. But again, I don't think his legs are underneath him, and 2, I don't think he can. Because again, I don't think he's the best. I mean, I think we all know he's not the best jump shooter. And with the resistance that they have down low in the rim, unless he's going to the line every time, which for some reason LeBron doesn't get that many fouls called on him, is not going to work out the same. So again, I think it's troublesome. I'm not gonna act like the series is over. I think we're in for a long series regardless. I say that we were in for a long series no matter what. But I will say this: I don't want to play Dame Lillard in a Game 7. Dame Lillard right now is the best player in the league right now. In the bubble, the best players in the league in Devin Booker and Dame Lillard, and Devin Booker at home. So it's Dame Lillard has been the best player in the league right now at this very moment in time. And again, I don't want to go into a Game 7 against Dame Lillard because that man seemed like he on a mission. And right now, like I said a couple months ago, if I need a bucket, I trust Dame Lillard more than anybody else on that basketball court. And Melo looked great. Melo is even another guy you can put on Bron and really not. Melo has been playing some of the most inspired defense I think I've seen him play since the Western Conference Finals when he played against Kobe, and I felt like that he at least tried to offer some resistance for Kobe Bryant. He's playing the most some of the most inspired defense I've ever seen him play. You know, he's hustling, he's doing all the little things, he's doing the right things, he's rebounding the basketball. And yeah, like I said, I think this series could get really, 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 really troublesome for the Lakers. And to me, it would look like an upset, but it's not an upset. This is not your normal eighth seed. It is your everyday eighth seed. This was a team that was, again, in the conference finals last year. They were. But the Lakers do have help on the way. They have Rajon Rondo coming back, which, again, I think will be big for this basketball team. I mean, last time we saw Rondo in the playoffs against Dame, him and Drew Holiday did a number on them. And also, that helped AD look a lot better. Like, AD had his best playoff series in that series, but who was passing the ball most of the time? Rajon Rondo. Also, I think it can help Bron because, again, along with Bron, you know, being older and his legs may not be the most underneath him. Now, if Rondo comes back, you can kind of slide LeBron to the 4. You can put AD at the 5. He's going to have to play some 5. You could put AD at the 5. I know he don't want to be there, but he's going to have to play some 5. Put Bron at the 4 and kind of run offense in that way. And I think that that will also be beneficial to Bron and helping him score. You know, like, you know, if you know, Gary Trent gets to, you know, guard him from 26 feet out, but also knowing that he has help, you know, Whiteside, Nurkic, and all those guys behind him. And I think that, you know, even when Bron looks at that, it's like, okay, maybe I don't want to do this. You know, maybe I just pull up or maybe I just pass. But if you can get him in that, the dunker spot or, the post or, on the block, I think Bron could do some work with that, and you just put them in the scorer's position. Like, you know what, Brian? Like I said, you go out there and you worry about scoring for the next 10 minutes. We got Rondo to facilitate and do things like that. So I think Rondo's coming back. I think that'll be help. Not Kuzma. Well, Kuzma played great, like I said, but I think Caruso played great defense on Dame. I think that was a bright spot for the Lakers, was Caruso's defense. He didn't score any point. I don't think he scored, or he might have scored 2 points on that dunk. Yeah, actually he had that emphatic dunk, but the defense he played on Dame was great. If I'm not mistaken, he was a plus. Alex Caruso was a plus 12 last night. So yeah, I thought he played great. I thought Dwight Howard gave them a jolt of energy. You know, he was getting tangled up with Nurkic. I thought he gave them a jolt of energy and, you know, just played big. So there were some bright spots for the Lakers. I'm not going to sit up here and overreact too much. But I will say we are in for a very, very long series. And like I said, the Lakers can for sure play better, but the Blazers can play better too. I didn't think Dame had an incredible game. I thought CJ was nice. I didn't think Nurk played necessarily well. I think Melo can play better. Gary Trent is a guy who I even think he can play better. He hit some big shots down the stretch, but I saw way too many Gary Trent ISOs that I don't ever need to see ever again. I think Terry Stotts can be better as a coach. You know, there were too many times in which I saw just offensive lows that led to those Gary Trent ISO plays that I don't ever need to see ever again. So again, although I think the Lakers can be better, everybody involved, I think the Blazers can be better as well. And I personally think that's the scary part for the Los Angeles Lakers, is that, like, yeah, you can play better, but also your opponent who beat you in game one. And granted, there's no crowd, no fans. Ain't no we going home to LA and we gonna have home court advantage. No, you in a bubble. Ain't no crowd there. Again, man. So, hey, it'll be interesting. I would like to say I told you so. I've been telling y'all since February was the first time I mentioned it. Everybody looked at me crazy on the show, telling y'all since February that we could see something like this. But, yeah, Pavy's Daily Takes. I'll get it with you guys tomorrow. Subtle flex. What it do? Subtle flex.